You cannot afford to not get lucky. Use your ABSA card to enter the draw. Terms and conditions apply. Your story matters. ABSA.
For in-depth news coverage from across Zambia, local and national news, business, politics, and sports, this is the Sun FM News, brought to you by ABSA. Your story matters.
The news.
With the news, my name is Alan Mwale. The headlines. President Hakainde Hichilema has directed the Minister of Justice, Honorable Princess Kasune, in consultation with Parliament to defer the ongoing legislative process on Bill number 7 of 2025 to allow for broader national consultations. Secretary to the Cabinet, Patrick Kangwa, has emphasized the critical role of public institutions as the foundation and driving force of national development, highlighting that strengthening them will reduce service delivery gaps and unlock Zambia's full development potential. Indo-Zambia Bank has signed a 200 million kwacha loan facility agreement with the Zambia Forestry and Forest Industries Corporation Zafico under the auspices of the Bank of Zambia Stability and Resilience Facility SRF. In sports, Copper Queens midfielder Grace Chanda says she is back with renewed determination as Zambia prepares for another historic campaign at the 2024 Total Energies Women's Africa Cup of Nations WAFCON, set to be played in 2025. The news in detail shortly.
The news. 88.5 Sun FM.
Hichilema has directed the Minister of Justice, Honorable Princess Kasune, in consultation with Parliament to defer the ongoing legislative process on Bill number 7 of 2025 to allow for broader national consultations. The President said the decision reflects the government's commitment to fostering a participatory and consensus-driven approach to transformative legislative reforms. His guidance follows a consultative meeting held at State House on Tuesday, 24th June 2025, with the church mother bodies, and over 30 civil society organizations, where a wide range of perspectives were shared. President Hichilema emphasized the need for additional stakeholder input and urged the Minister of Justice to work closely with religious groups, civil society, and other stakeholders to review the current roadmap and proposed amendments. He reaffirmed his duty as head of state to listen to the Zambian people and reiterated government's commitment to reviewing the NGO Act and the NGO Bill to safeguard the independence and operations of non-governmental organizations. The President underscored the vital role of a vibrant and independent civil society in strengthening Zambia's democracy. He further stated that the government remains steadfast in pursuing reforms that reflect the aspirations of all Zambians by prioritizing dialogue and inclusivity. The administration hopes to shift the national conversation towards the substance of the proposed amendments and ensure they deliver meaningful change for the nation. This is according to a statement issued by Chief Communications Specialist Clayson Hamasaka at State House. Secretary to the Cabinet, Patrick Kangwa, has emphasized the critical role of public institutions as the foundation and the driving force of national development, highlighting that strengthening them will reduce service delivery gaps and unlock Zambia's full development potential. Speaking at the official launch of the 2025 Africa Public Service Day commemorations, scheduled for Sunday, 29th June, Mr. Kangwa described the occasion as a vital platform for public servants and citizens to reflect on the effectiveness of public service delivery. This year's theme is enhancing the agility and resilience of public institutions to achieve equitable governance and rapidly address historical gaps. Underscores the need for dynamic and inclusive governance systems that respond to Zambia's diverse and evolving needs. Mr. Kangwa paid tribute to dedicated public service workers, noting their often unseen efforts in implementing government policies and improving citizens' lives. He stressed the importance of promoting innovations that advance efficiency for reforms in procurement, work culture, and financial management to build a public service grounded in integrity, transparency, and accountability.
Fellow citizens, the exhibitions will run for 5 days, commencing today, Thursday 26 June, to Sunday 29 June 2025 in all the provinces. At national level, the exhibitions will be held at the Piazza, East Park Mall in Lusaka, while the provincial exhibitions will be held at designated venues in respective provinces. Fellow citizens, during the exhibitions, members of the public will be able to access services on the spot: health and education services, pension services, national and voter registration, as well as digital services on the government service bus, among others.
The significance of the theme, he called for a public sector that is inclusive, citizen-focused, and responsive regardless of region, gender, or background. A lineup of activities will precede the main event, including exhibitions, public discussions, and interdenominational church services across national and provincial levels. The national exhibition will be hosted at the Piazza East Park Mall in Lusaka, while provincial showcases will occur at designated venues. Interdenominational church services are set for Friday, 27th June in Lusaka at the Anglican Cathedral of the Holy Cross and at provincial locations nationwide.
Further, public discussions on various topics relating to the theme will be held on different television and radio stations across the country. Fellow citizens, as part of the commemoration of this year's Africa Public Service Day celebrations, interdenominational church services will be held on Friday, 27th June 2025 at national and provincial level. In Lusaka, the church service will be held at the Anglican Cathedral of the Holy Cross. Church services in the provinces will be held at designated venues. It is important that we take time to thank God for the public service and dedicate all our public service workers to the Almighty.
Indo-Zambia Bank has signed a 200 million kwacha loan facility agreement with the Zambia Forestry and Forest Industries Corporation, ZAFICO, under the auspices of the Bank of Zambia Stability and Resilience Facility, SRF. The funding is expected to play a catalytic role in economic recovery, job creation, and national development efforts in the wake of the challenges posed by drought and prolonged load shedding. Speaking at the signing ceremony, Indo-Zambia Bank Managing Director Mr. Brajesh Singh described the agreement as a timely intervention designed to stabilize key sectors of the economy. He emphasized that the facility represents not merely financial support, but a strategic investment in Zambia's long-term resilience and productivity. Mr. Singh expressed optimism that the funding will enable ZAFICO to scale up its forestry operations, promote value addition, and drive industrial development. He further stated that the broader economic benefits of this investment would extend well beyond ZAFICO and positively impact various sectors of the economy.
This project will not only promote sustainable forestry management and industrialization, but also significantly contribute to employment creation and import substitution of our country. I would like to take this opportunity to sincerely commend the government of the Republic of Zambia and the Bank of Zambia for their continued forward-thinking initiatives such as SRF. These mechanisms are critical in building economic resilience and providing institutions like ours with the tools needed to support national development.
Meanwhile, Zafico Chief Executive Officer Mr. Mundia welcomed the agreement, stating that the funding will significantly support the corporation's plans to establish a particle board manufacturing plant. He highlighted that the 200 million kwacha facility would be primarily directed towards the expansion of existing value addition initiatives, which remain central to Zafico's operational agenda. Mr. Mundia further announced that the loan will be repaid over a period of 7 years, with an additional 2-year moratorium to provide financial flexibility during the initial stages of implementation.
Going ahead to integrate forward. Our strategy is anchored on 3 pillars. The first pillar is plantation expansion. As you know, we're sitting on 60,000 hectares currently. We intend to grow to an additional 40,000, taking it to 100,000 in the next 5 to 6 years. The second one, and perhaps the most important one, and perhaps our reason for meeting today, is that we are integrating forward by adding value to our trees. We started with an investment of $3 million into a kiln, as well as an additional creosote line to support the local utility poles, supply of local utility poles to enhance capacity for ourselves.
The Human Rights Commission has called for the formulation of a national action plan on business and human rights as a pivotal milestone in Zambia's commitment to safeguarding human rights amid rising investment activity. On the sidelines of a stakeholder consultative forum in Livingston, Director of Research and Planning, Foster Hamuyube, said the action plan seeks to align investment and development initiatives with the overarching imperative of protecting human dignity. Mr. Hamuyube underscored that while economic advancement is vital, it must remain people-centered. He stressed that this necessitates coherent policies and a comprehensive national framework that demonstrate a strong governmental commitment to upholding human rights, enhancing living standards, combating poverty, and reducing inequality.
As a country, I think we are moving in a trajectory where there's a lot of promotion of investment. Now, investments, whether in whatever form it comes in, has a lot of potential to adversely impact on people's dignity and human rights. And the intention here by government is to make sure that even when they are pushing for this development, that we hear them talking about it, the production of the 3 million tons of copper, the Robito corridor, the agricultural investments, and all sorts of investments. And it doesn't matter what kind of investment and the size of investment. The potential for abuse and violation of human rights is quite high. Now, I think the intention here by government to make sure that even as they are pushing for this development, they should also be measures put in place to make sure that the resultant abuse and violation of human rights is taken care of.
Meanwhile, Zambia Alliance of Women Programs Manager Siza Katebe underscored the importance of collaboration between businesses and local communities. He noted that such coexistence should be grounded in mutual respect and understanding. Mr. Katebe asserted that businesses bear responsibility to respect human rights, while government must play a proactive role in ensuring that those rights are upheld.
And to that extent, this is something that we recognize as a milestone in our country's strengthening of national laws that speaks to business and human rights. But we also have seen, for example, there are pronouncements that government has made in terms of increasing production of 3 million metric tons of copper. What does this entail? It entails that a lot of land will be taken away from communities. But how do we harness that opportunity that could provide an opportunity for everybody to not be left behind? We need to realize that even as communities partner with multinationals, communities need to drive the benefits that are coming as a result of this resource extraction.
The Ministry of Technology and Science has underscored the urgent need to realign workforce competencies with the evolving demands of the tourism sector. Speaking at the official opening of the Skills for Trade and Economic Diversification STED Technical and Policy Foresight Workshop in Livingstone, Permanent Secretary Dr. Brilliant Habenzu expressed concern that only 28% of youth in Zambia's labor force have received formal technical or vocational training. He observed that although tourism accounted for approximately 7% of the gross domestic product and supported over 470,000 jobs prior to the COVID-19 pandemic, a significant digital divide continues to impede equitable access to opportunities. In response, the PS advocated for the expansion of training programs in critical areas such as e-commerce, data analytics, and virtual tourism technologies to better equip the workforce for the digital era.
The Zambian government is ramping up efforts to make the tourism sector a key driver for economic growth, focusing on skills development, sustainability, and labor rights. At the Skills Trade and Economic Diversification Workshop, organized by the International Labour Organization with the support from the EU in Livingstone, stakeholders from Zambia and the SADC region met to chart a new course for the sector. Dr. Brilliant Habenzu, guest of honor at the workshop, underscored the importance of repositioning tourism for inclusive growth and job creation.
We're going to skill up the relevant skills that are needed in this key driver. Not long ago, as a means of technology and science, we are launching some curricula, but time has come for us now to also focus on this very, very important pillar in our economic transformation job creation agenda in the 8th National Development Plan, which is tourism. And this is the more reason we are here today.
And ILO Director Wellington Chibebe noted that tourism contributed nearly 10% to Zambia's GDP in 2022, but warned that the progress depends on building the right skills.
It is known fact that Zambian government reforms and private sector investments have boosted the sector, with international tourism arrivals rising by 90% in 2022. However, challenges remain, and these challenges are: 1, skills shortages limit services quality competitiveness.
Earlier, the Zambia Institute of Tourism and Hospitality Studies chairperson Mulemu Amonga raised concerns over critical skills shortage, while Labour Permanent Secretary Zakaria Ruhanga warned of rising casualization and exploitation.
The guidelines are to increase tourism education across the country. The hope is that there will be more programs at TVET level in universities and other institutions of higher learning. We are looking, guest of honor, to update the tourism curriculum that is being delivered in the school system.
The government has also witnessed a sharp growth of the tourism industry sector that has also led to increased casualization and workplace abuse of workers by some employers. I'm emphasizing this because Mr. Kakunta from ZCTU highlighted, and I want to support him because we do receive reports ourselves, both in confidence or otherwise.
For the Tourism Council and the Zambia Congress of Trade Union, representatives echoed the call for strong partnerships, better training, and improved worker protections.
Capacity building and training for tourism stakeholders, advocacy and policy support for the tourism industry.
That is noted that in Livingstone and the surrounding areas, over at least 60% of the businesses are tourism-related businesses, and therefore we feel that this program has really come at the right time.
The challenges that we find in the tourism sector, guest of honor, is that the skills that are provided in this sector, sometimes they fail to meet certain expected standards.
If these challenges are tackled, Zambia's tourism industry could create thousands of quality jobs and drive inclusive development. Augustine Kapambwe for Sun TV News in Livingstone District, Southern Province.
The Patriotic Front has sharply criticized the government for allegedly politicizing the burial of the late 60th Republican President Edgar Chagwa Lungu. PF Secretary General Raphael Nakachinda claims that United Party for National Development, UPND, and aligned online media platforms information and manipulate public perception. Mr. Nakachinda lamented that what he termed a disturbing level of mockery surrounding the death and funeral of Dr. Lungu, particularly by media entities viewed as sympathetic to the ruling party. He concluded by expressing disbelief at the government's obsessive desire to control the funeral arrangements, arguing that this fixation undermines the solemnity and national significance of the moment and disrespects the legacy of the late president.
In politicizing this whole process, when you look at the propaganda machinery, media pages or outlets that are run by status, would run very, very disturbing propaganda, stories. The fact that the late president actually came with a different identity. He got, a passport from Zimbabwe. They are not even sensitive to, diplomatic relations with neighboring countries like Zimbabwe. So that, approach only speaks to the fact that our government, while they are trying to, play to the gallery and say they are interested in having his remains repatriated to Zambia, given a dignified, send-off to the international community, what is happening on the ground is totally different.
The National Council for Construction, NCC, has offered to host the Coast Zambia Secretariat within its institution. Speaking during the launch of Zambia's rejoining of Coast International, a global initiative that promotes good governance in infrastructure through information disclosure, assurance, multi-stakeholder dialogue, and citizen engagement, NCC Executive Director Professor Paul Makasa has described the offer as a demonstration of the Council's long-term commitment to institutionalizing transparency and accountability in the infrastructure sector. He has also expressed gratitude to Coast International for welcoming Zambia back into the initiative, emphasizing that the renewed partnership will not only benefit the country, but also serve as a model for reform across the region.
Continue to provide governance level oversight to ensure that the hosting arrangement empowers rather than constrains the Secretariat's effectiveness. We will also champion within our own engagements, be it with the line ministries, procurement entities, or contractors, because we know that transparency does not weaken institutions.
Meanwhile, Coast Zambia Initiative Chairperson Ruben Lifuka said that the move to co-locate the Secretariat with the NCC is a strategic decision aimed at strengthening the initiative's operational foundation.
Of public investment. Without transparency and public scrutiny, these investments can be undermined by inefficiencies, corruption, poor quality outcomes. Coast addresses this by making data on infrastructure projects publicly accessible.
Speaking at the same event, a permanent secretary in the Ministry of Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development, Albert Malama, said that the government remains committed to providing policy leadership, a sound infrastructure governance framework, and institutional support to ensure that there is transparency and accountability in public infrastructure projects.
Accountable. Through these mechanisms, Coast enhances trust between government and the public. deters waste and corruption, and boosts investor and development partner confidence. How COST supports the 8th National Development Plan. Under the Good Governance Environment pillar, the 8th National Development Plan commits to strengthening public financial management, enhancing transparency in procurement.
Zimba district has recorded a bumper harvest of 27,000 metric tons of maize in the 2024-2025 farming season, one of its highest yields in recent years. With annual maize consumption estimated at 20,000 metric tons for its population of 109,307, the district has produced enough to feed its residents until the next harvest. District Agriculture Coordinator Mr. Duncan Nyirongo announced the figures during the recently held agriculture show in Luyaba Ward. Mr. Nyirongo also revealed that 16,843,200 kwacha was disbursed as crop loans under the Sustainable Agriculture Credit Facility, benefiting 292 smallholder farmers. In addition, 7,800 farmers received support under the Farmer Input Support Program, FISIP. Meanwhile, Southern Province Agriculture Coordinator Alfred Sianjase issued a stern warning to agro-dealers against exploiting farmers. He condemned practices where inputs are not visibly stocked despite being swiped for, emphasizing that such conduct would not be tolerated. Guest of honor, District Commissioner Robinson Mulamfu commended farmers for adopting climate-smart agriculture and reiterated the government's commitment to transforming agriculture into a cornerstone of Zambia's economic growth. Held under the theme, Adapting to Climate Change, the agriculture show united farmers, cooperatives, agro-dealers, and government officials in a shared vision of building a resilient and sustainable agriculture sector in Zimba. This is according to a statement by Marston Monze, Assistant Public Relations Officer, Zimba Town Council. Police in Southern Province are investigating a case in which a 14-year-old girl of Kazungula district was allegedly defiled by a man identified only as Mr. Mantanyani of Kavuyu in Musokotwane village. Southern Province Police Commanding Officer Oxencio Daka confirmed the incident, stating that it occurred on the night of June 14, 2025, around 20 hours. According to Mr. Daka, the victim had complained of pain in her genital area, prompting further inquiry. Preliminary investigations reveal that the suspect allegedly entered the house through an unlocked door. While the girl was sleeping in the company of her cousin, he is said to have approached the victim's bed, instructed her not to scream, and proceeded to undress and defile her. The victim reportedly cried out in pain, alerting her brother-in-law, who rushed to the scene and apprehended the suspect. The man was briefly confined at the residence with the intention of handing him over to police the following morning. However, he escaped during the night and remains at large. Mr. Daka stated that no arrest has been made so far, but investigations are ongoing. We take a break and return with sports news.
Imagine having the financial freedom to live life on your terms. With the ABSA Ultimate Plus account, you can manage your finances, save for the future, and access personal loans. Plus, enjoy travel insurance, a credit card, and retrenchment cover when the unexpected happens. If that's not value, I don't know what is. Let's help you write the next chapter of your ultimate story. Call 5950 to open an Ultimate Plus account today.
Your story matters. ABSA.
Says she is back with renewed determination as Zambia prepares for another historic campaign at the 2024 Total Energies Women's Africa Cup of Nations WAFCON, set to be played in 2025. Chanda, who made her WAFCON debut in 2018 and played a pivotal role in Zambia's third-place finish in 2022, is set to make her third consecutive appearance at the Continental Showpiece. She joins a select group of players, Margaret Belemu, Martha Tembo, Lushomo Mwemba, and Irene Lungu, who have also featured in 3 straight editions. The Orlando Pride midfielder, formerly of Madrid CFF in Spain, missed several matches over the past year due to injury, but says she never lost focus. Her return to the squad in Mohammedia has reignited her hunger for success, and she is aiming to help Zambia go even further this time around. Chanda was instrumental in Zambia's historic bronze medal finish at the 2022 WAFCON in Morocco's the nation's first ever podium finish at the tournament. Now fully recovered and back in training, she says she's ready to give everything for the team. Zambia has been drawn in Group A alongside the hosts Morocco, Senegal, and the Democratic Republic of Congo. The Copper Queens will kick off their campaign against Morocco on July 5th.
I'm so excited because it's not easy to play three tournaments. It's not easy. So I'm so happy, I'm so excited to come back again. I think the group is not easy because our group is hard, so we have just to work extra hard to perform well, to do our best. I think the target this tournament, we have to finish what we left behind. So we have to finish now because we are full squad.
That's where we end. To end, we recap on the headlines. President Hakainde Hichilema has directed the Minister of Justice, Honorable Princess Kasune, in consultation with the Parliament to defer the ongoing legislative process on Bill number 7 of 2025 to allow for broader national consultations. Secretary to the Cabinet, Patrick Kangwa, has emphasized the critical role of public institutions as the foundation and driving force of national development, highlighting that strengthening them will reduce service delivery gaps and unlock Zambia's full development potential. Indo-Zambia Bank has signed a 200 million kwacha loan facility agreement with the Zambia Forestry and Forest Industries Corporation, ZAFICO, under the auspices of the Bank of Zambia Stability and Resilience Facility, SRF. In sports, Copper Queens midfielder Grace Chanda says that she is back with renewed determination as Zambia prepares for another historic campaign at the 2024 Total Energies Women's Africa Cup of Nations, WAFCON, set to be played in 2025. That's where we end. My name is Alan Mwale. To have a great one and stay tuned.
Sun FM.
A comprehensive coverage of local and national news, business, politics, and